All right, this lesson is going to show you how to solve one variable equations and inequalities using Desmos. And so I'm going to go ahead and open the test mode of Desmos, the Texas STAAR version. And what you're going to do with an equation is you are going to set the left side as an equation. So you're going to put y equals the left side. And then you're going to do y equals the right side. And I always use y and x for this. So y equals -2. And then 3 minus 2x. And then go to a new line and type the other one. Okay, and so where they intersect is the solution, and we only care about the x value for this. That's why I only use x and y, so you know which one is your solution. So x equals -0.9 is our solution. And if they want the fraction form, you can type -0.9 and convert it to a fraction. And so either one. Usually they prefer fractions. Okay, and so if they're using a different letter, like on number 2, they're using A, still use y and x. So for the left side, I would do y equals 9x. And then for the right side, I would do y equals 6 parenthesis x plus 4. Okay, and so y equals 9x, and then y equals 6x plus 4. Usually it won't graph it if you don't do the y equals, so that's why we're typing that. Find the intersection. In this case, x equals 8 is our solution. You don't care about the 72. All right, and so for inequalities, the test mode, the Texas STAAR test mode doesn't let you type in inequalities. It won't graph those for you. And so it's a very similar method. And here's where I like to use colors because inequalities are a little more challenging. And so in blue, I'm going to type the left side, which is y equals 2x plus 1. And in red, I'm going to type the right side, which is y equals 4x minus 8. And I try to make the colors match on Desmos, and you'll see why in just a second. So y equals 2x plus 1 is blue. And then red is going to be y equals 4x minus 8. So I'm going to change the green to red. Okay, and so you're going to look for where they intersect, just like we did for equations. Okay, and so in this case, it's x equals 5 is where they intersect. And so on a multiple choice test, you can narrow it down to the 5. Okay, and then you need to look at what your inequality is. So this is a greater than sign. And so your options, the correct answer is either going to be x is greater than 5 or x is less than 5. You're not going to have an inequality with a line through with it because the original doesn't have a line underneath it. So you don't have to worry about those options. Okay, and so we just need to decide, is it greater than or is it less than? And so when you're looking at your original sign, if it's a greater than sign, that means above. Okay, and so you're looking for where is the blue above the red. Okay, of course you could guess at this point and have a 50-50 shot, but if you want to narrow down to the right answer, you're going to look at your graph. And so I'm going to go ahead and graph the line x equals 5. And so that's the vertical line. I'm going to make it dotted because we don't really care about that line. We just care about the left and right side of it. Okay, and so if you look at this graph, the red is above the blue when I'm to the right of this line, but the red is below the blue to the left of this line. Okay, and so let me see if I can screenshot. Probably not. Oh, I can't. Okay, and so red is above the blue, where here blue is above the red. And so I want to know where blue is above the red, and that's this part of the graph over here. And so because I care about the left side, I want the less than for my inequality. Okay, so when you see that you're to the left, you want the less than inequality. Okay, it looks like an L. And so less than 5 would be our final answer. Okay, and so if we have to graph it, we would have an open circle at the 5 and we would shade to the left. Okay, open circle because there's no line underneath the inequality. Okay, so let's see. Let's do this next one. Is kind of ugly. So if you want, you can keep the blue and the red and just delete the y equals. So on the left side, I'm going to have y equals -6 minus 4 plus 8x. On the right, I have y equals negative parentheses 7x minus 8. So -6 minus, gotta be careful, type it exactly how it looks. And then for the right side, gotta have the parentheses and everything. Don't lose negative signs. Okay, and so find your lines. This one's hard because they're so steep. And so there's where they intersect at -18. So at this point, we know there's going to be 18 involved. So you can guess. And so our original inequality has a line. And so we're either going to have x is less than or equal to 18 or x is greater than or equal to 18. So at this point, you can guess and maybe have the right answer. You've got a 50-50 shot. Or just like the last example, I'm going to go ahead and graph. I think it was -18. So I'm going to double check. Oh, -18. Don't guess positive 18. It's negative. Okay, and so I'm going to make that look better. So we have to decide which one. And so I'm going to graph x equals -18. I'm going to make it dotted. Okay. And so this one's really hard to tell, but if you look, let me screenshot. To the left, the blue is above the red. Over here, the red is slightly above the blue. And what we want for our picture, for the answer, this is a less than, and so I want to know where it is below. So I want to know where blue is below red. And so blue is below red over to the right of my black dotted line. So right means greater than or equal to. So this would be our answer. If it was left, I would choose this one. So my final answer would be x is greater than or equal to -18. Okay, let's do one more. Actually, let me graph that real quick. And so we would look for a graph with negative 18, this time a closed circle, because they took the time to draw the line. We're taking the time to fill in the circle. And then greater than is to the right. All right, last one. Let's do y equals negative x plus 11. Y equals 3, parenthesis 2 minus x. Okay, and then y equals 3, parenthesis 2 minus x. And so delete that for now. Gotta go find the intersection. And so it says negative 2.5. And so x, we know 2.5 is going to be part of our answer. They may put it in fraction form, but for now I'm going to leave it as a decimal. And so looking at the inequality, it's not going to have a line. So if we're guessing, it's either going to be x is greater than 2.5 or x is less than 2.5. And so I'm going to go ahead and type in x equals, is it negative? I keep forgetting the negative. Don't do that. So negative 2.5. And so if we're guessing, we know there's going to be a negative 2.5 in the answer. And so I'm going to go ahead and graph that negative 2.5. And then looking at this inequality, this is a greater than sign. So I want to know where blue is above red. Okay, and so looking at my picture, blue is above the red over here to the right, whereas if I go to the left of the line, the blue is below the red. And so I want above the red, so I want to the right of the 2.5. And so because I want to the right, I'm not going to choose the L, I'm going to choose this one as my final answer. And so when I graph it, I'm going to put 2.5 with an open circle and shade to the right. If you need the fraction, just convert using Desmos and get the fraction.